Good morning, everybody. In the past few weeks, you have learned about data and information and how to use Microsoft Excel to create meaningful tables and organize data and create formulas and understand different types of data. In today's tutorial, you are going to learn about charts. Charts are basically like graphs. And in Microsoft Excel, you can create some pretty awesome graphs and charts quite easily. There are some things that you can do on the online version of Excel, and there are some things that you can't do. But I'm going to take you through a tutorial on how to create charts using online Excel. So let's get started. On Microsoft Teams, you would have a new assignment called number 3, Introduction to Charts. I want you to click on View Assignment. And remember, what you have to do is open up the spreadsheet once on Teams, let it completely load, close it on Teams, and you can access it on office.com. So there are two files, one is reference material, and one of them is called 3.chart Year 9 ICT. Do not do intermediate exercise 1 yet. Click on 3.chart Year 9 ICT. When it completely loads, you'll see different tabs down the bottom, and you'll see some stuff over here. So as you can see, over here, you can see some charts. So what I need you to do now that it's completely loaded, we are now going to close it. I'm going to open a new tab. I'm going to go to office.com. And we are going to open it directly on Microsoft Excel. If you've done it correctly, it will now have 3.chart. If that does not appear, you can click on Excel over here. And then you can go down chart. Now there are two links, remember? You want to click on the first link, not the SharePoint, but the actual file name. Let's open that. This way you don't have to work on Teams, you can work directly on Excel and it will save everything automatically. So there are 4 different activities that you can do here. We're going to do one at a time. The first 2 are the ones that I'm going to do with you. The last 2 have activities for you to do, and intermediate you can do later. Let's click on bar chart tutorial down the bottom left here. And as you can see, in column H, I have about 9 different tasks for you to do. And from A1 to E13 is the data table. Let's do one at a time. The first one says format the table to look professional and attractive. The first thing we need to understand with tables is we want to put a border around it. Highlight the whole table. Put a border, a thick border. Highlight the heading, a thick border. I'm going to put that out. I'm going to make it bold, and I'm just going to highlight it yellow. So what you can see here is that I basically created a thick border around every single heading up on the outside. You can also do that if you want. You can do one at a time if you like. Okay. So you think about what will make it professional for you, but I kept it nice and simple because it's easier to read here. Now what's really important is that you need a heading. Your actual table needs a heading. An actual table heading about the whole table. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select A1, highlight E13. On the keyboard, I'm going to cut it by Control X, or if you're on a MacBook, Command X. And as you can see now, you'll have a dotted line. I'm going to go down to A4, Control V to paste. And that will bring the whole table down. I'm now going to add a heading. So as you can see, the table has a student name. I'm going to change the student name to make it easier to understand. And I have the subject of study here. But I think this could be a really good table about student grade. Student grade. Alright. So what's happened here is now I can now make this into a bigger heading. A1, I'm going to highlight all the way down E2 over here. Merge and center. I'm now going to make it a bit bigger. Say 24. Bold. Let's make it a nice light orange. Oh, one last thing, for the sake of making it look professional, I added a border on the outside. So there you go, my table. Number 1 is done. Number 2, create a column chart to show the general achievement of all students of all 4 subjects. So now, is it a column chart? A column chart looks like a bar chart that goes up and down with basically a bar. To create a graph, you must make sure that you selected the heading, the data that you want to show. It says here, so you got to highlight A4 to E616 because that's the whole table that you have to show because it says show all 4 subjects. Yeah? Go to insert, column. You can do a bar, but it goes left to right, which is very difficult to read. I'm now going to click on that. The second one, clustered column, and you should get something that looks like this. As you can see, the student names are along the x-axis, the score are along the y-axis, and every student will have 4 different subjects. Each subject has a color. The color is represented by the bottom, and that is called the legend. You have a chart title. And one more thing, we basically have done number 2 already. We've created a chart of all the subjects of all the student achievement. Number 3, it says format the chart appropriately with headings, legend, axis title, etc. So we're not even going to bother with the colors yet because the colors have already been organized for us. What we're going to do instead is we are going to format the chart, the title first. Make sure you click the chart to select the chart. Up the top left or top middle, there's a chart. You have all these options here to change. Let's change the chart title first. Edit chart title, and let's put a center overlay title. Nope, above the chart will look better. Edit chart title. Now, what do you think would be an appropriate heading? If the heading of a table is called student grade, and you're showing all 4 subjects of the student grade, I think the heading should be appropriate and relevant. Student grade across 4 subjects. Cool? That will be an appropriate heading because we're talking about the student grade for all 4 subjects. And there it is. It says also in step 3, the legends. The legends are over here. Chart, legend, and you just pick where you want to put the legends. I'm just going to leave it on at the right. No, that's too, the reason why that looks like that is because it's not big enough. So if I stretch it out a bit more, or maybe I could let it overlay. Let's make it on there. Cool, that's that. So you can do whatever you want really just to make sure it's visible. I think I'll just keep it back to the bottom. I'll leave it that. Okay. Now, when people are looking at these graphs, they do not know what these numbers mean. We know what it means because it's a grade. What if other people are looking at it? So let's go to axis title. Horizontal is the bottom, which is down here. So let's put one on the bottom, and let's call it student. Let's just call it student. At least that way, people who look at this graph will know that these people are students. So chart, axis title, vertical. So what we just did with the horizontal, we now want to do vertical. Let's put a vertical one over here, and let's call it grade score. And it should appear over there. Alright, now I'm not really happy with that. Let's have a look what other things I can do with it. That looks better. Fantastic. And now, if you want, you should be able to format it by changing the color somewhere. Yep. So you can change the font for the subject title. I'm going to make it 16. I'm going to make it bold. I haven't tried this yet, so let's try it now. Okay, cool. So that's fill. If you want to fill it, I don't want to fill it, so I'm just going to go no fill. what the outline is, what the outline is. Fantastic, so the outline's there. I don't want to do that either. Okay, so as you can see, fill the outline goes around the outside of the square. Legend, you can change the color as well, and the size as well. So you can play around with all these formatting options to make it look different. Now let's change the fill color for that one. Let's make it yellow. As you can see now, the word biology, series biology means the column for biology. Everything with biology data is now yellow. Let's put it back to a nice orange. No, the orange for nice green. Okay, cool. So my point is, if you click on the chart and you click on format over here under the chart ribbon format, you can start changing the way it looks. Alright, so remember the word format means changing the way the chart looks. And there you've done it. Yeah, basically done step 1, 2, and 3. Make sure you pause the video if you need to. Do that first before you're moving on. Alright, next one. Step 4. Create a column chart. Show the general achievement of all students with only biology. So, very simple. I'm not going to do it all, but you can do it yourself. As you remember what I said, if you select all of this, it will show the student achievement for all 4 subjects, as you can see over here. We only want biology, so we would just have to select that. Insert column chart. Beautiful. There, all done. But step number 5, it says format the chart appropriately and with heading, axis, and title. The exact same thing is done over here. Make sure you change the title name. I'm going to delete this, and you guys can do that in your own time by yourself. Step number 6, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Create a chart, a column chart to show the general achievement of biology, math, and design. Now here's the issue with this online version of Excel. Unfortunately, you cannot create a graph by selecting separately like that. All the column that you've selected must be adjacent, which means they must be next to each other. So what you have to do is you have to copy the table. I'm going to copy the table, highlight tab, Control C. I'm going to put it on A19 and it's down here. Now it said biology, math, and design. So I'm just going to delete, I'm not going to delete. I'm going to click on highlight column E19, this 31. I'm going to cut it, Control X, and I'm going to override it with English. And there you go. Now I've lost English, but that's okay. I made a copy of the original data. I pasted it down the bottom, and I copied it and put design over the English. And now that all the data are one next to the other, I can now create my chart. So that is basically step 6. So remember how to create a chart, select your data, insert column chart. Cool? Alright, now step 7, create or format the chart appropriately. Step number 8, work out the average. So if you remember how to do average, so the first thing we want to do across each subject. So I'm going to go average down the bottom. Remember the formula? Equals average, open bracket. Where do you want to start calculating? Click on it, hold it all the way down the bottom. So calculate the average between B5, B16, close bracket, press enter, done. Put your mouse over that little dot, we get a little black cross here, drag it across, and you should have all the average. Now these numbers I don't like, I want to make it to the full number. So no decimal places, go back to home, and you put one. I will get this one wrong, but you can't have it. There you go. So the one that says the arrow going to the left, decrease decimal, okay? And that's the average. I'm now going to go. Number 9, work out the average grade for each student across 4 subjects. So it's up here, F, average, equals average, open bracket, biology, math, English, design, close bracket, enter, drag it down, And you are done. Almost, I want the average. Beautiful. All done. Now I'll make that bold, and you can make that all part of the same heading as well. Right? Just like this. Very simple. And your graph and your final product should look like this. So remember, you have to create 3 charts in total. As you can see, step 2, 4, 6. Calculate your average and make it look nice and pretty. Very simple, very easy. Again, make sure you pause the video, ask me if you have any questions, try it yourself, and it should be okay. So that is a bar chart. The next chart is actually quite easy as well, with a little bit less activity to do, especially if you already know how to format the chart. So down the bottom is line graph practice. Click on that. As you can see, only 4 steps. Now, line graph, let me go back to bar chart. So a bar chart is very useful when you are comparing data. If you are comparing data, it is much, much better to use a bar graph.